Hey everybody, Craig Andrews here with Hydraulic Pneumatic Services. I'm heading out to a customer right now that has an issue with a hydrostat unit, so I thought I'd give a quick video. I've got some driving time here on hydrostats. And basically a hydrostat unit is a pump and a motor together in what they call a closed loop. You have the pump and then you have the motor. And out of the pump, the oil flows right into the motor through the hose, out of the motor back into the pump. So it just goes around in a closed loop. And if you just had a regular system, the pump would pump oil out through a valve, directional valve, go into a cylinder, and then that oil would just go back to the tank. And the difference is in a hydrostat, because it's in a loop, all it has to worry about is the oil volume that's in the loop. And they'll use a little charge pump on the back end of the pump, the main pump, to keep that loop filled with oil, and also use it to flush and cool the oil and replenish it with fresh, cool oil to keep the circuit cool. So if you had an open circuit and you had, say, a 30-gallon-a-minute pump, you would need a reservoir of about 90, 150 gallons capacity. But in a closed loop, they usually size the charge pump about 1/20th of the main pump volume. So if you had a 30-gallon-a-minute pump, you would have a 6-gallon-a-minute charge pump on the back end. And the reason they use a lot of hydrostats in the mobile equipment, where you find them on pavers, skidders, cement trucks have them. A lot of the mobile equipment, they also use them as drive systems. So you have the pump and then you'll have a motor to drive the machine, or sometimes they'll couple it with two motors and to drive one on each side, left and right. But the reason the hydrostats are so popular on the mobile applications is because you have that loop and all you need is a little charge pump. So for the charge pump, the 6-gallon-a-minute charge pump, you only need a reservoir of 20, 25 gallons, 30 gallons maybe, because that's all you're using for the oil. Where in an open loop, you need all that oil for that 30-gallon-a-minute pump. So as you can see, you don't want to put a 150-gallon, 200-gallon tank on your tractor, and that's why they utilize the closed loop systems, the hydrostats. So anyways, one of the ways if your hydrostat's getting bad is you'll notice it in the flow. As you build up pressure, your flow will drop. So instead of a 30-gallon-a-minute flow rate out of that pump, and it's worn on the inside, now it could be the motor too, you don't know because it's working together as one unit. So when you're checking flow, it's it's on the whole thing, so you have to do some different ways of checking to eliminate the pump or the motor. But anyways, what I was getting at was that if your flow drops, let's say you have a 30-gallon-a-minute pump and you're losing 20% and it's dropping down to 24 gallons or 22 gallons, let's say 24, I'll give you that as an example. So you're down to 24. Now that charge pump is trying to make up that oil as your pump and motor wear down. So as it starts losing oil over time, as it wears down, say it gets down to 28 gallons, so that charge pump is putting out 6 gallons, so it's making up that 2-gallon loss. But when it starts getting down to 24, now you're matching the equivalent of a 6-gallon-a-minute charge pump. So you're losing 6 gallons and your charge pump is putting out 6 gallons, so you're just breaking even with that charge pump capacity. Now as soon as you start getting below 24 gallons in flow loss or internal leakage, which is all going out the case, and so that's why the charge pump is making up the oil, because all that loss of oil is going through your pistons, your rotating group and all that back into case and then back to the tank. So that's what the charge pump does, is make up that loss of oil. And what happens is you get below 24 gallons in flow, then you're exceeding the capacity of that charge pump, and now you're starting to cavitate the hydrostatic system. You don't have enough oil out of that charge pump to make up that loss. You're losing 7 gallons, but you're only got a capacity of 6 gallons out of that little charge pump to make up the oil. and so now you're down a gallon in loss, and before you know it, you just wiped out your hydrostat, both your pump and your motor. So just wanted to give you a quick explanation of that, and hope you understood. I know I rattled quite a bit there, but that's basically how they work and how they operate, and why they're used on mobile equipment. We do a lot of repairs of those. In fact, most of my life, over 35 years experience in hydraulics, has been with the pumps and motors and hydrostats, open and closed circuits, although we do a lot of cylinders and stuff. But that's where I grew up. I built tons of those things, worked on tons of those up in the Chicago area. We used to deal with a lot of big cement companies, and that's what they have on there. They got the pump that runs off the front fender into the engine, and then that pumps oil back to the motor, which turns a cement drum. And so we used to, back in the day, we used to deal with a lot of the big cement companies up there. And God, we used to repair and rebuild hundreds of those things a month. It's amazing, but it's all kind of gone away now with that. But anyhow, so if you need any help, you got any questions, we can help you with any repairs or units, cylinders, no matter what. We do it all. And just give us a shout, or there'll be a link down, I believe, at the bottom of the video for more info, and you can get in touch with us that way. All right, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good day.